everyone, welcome to the Dance Diaries. I'm Carol.
And I'm Kim. Welcome everyone.
We are down today to talk about the 2-week preparation it takes to get into a national competition.
We don't realize, Carol, how much preparation it actually takes. There's so many different moving parts when you're getting ready for a competition.
Walk me through what you go through in your 2-week sort of preparatory stage getting ready for nationals.
Yes, the first tip, everyone, I will recommend, please print yourself out a 2 weeks pre-competition to-do list, because you will definitely need it. And then as we go, the next page is 1 week. What do I need to be prepared for 1 week? 3 days prior, and then days of. We're gonna link one of these in our bio for you. The first thing is we're always thinking about our dances. 2 weeks out, I'm going to give this tip. I'm going to throw it out there because I've been a victim of it. I've done it myself. No changes.
Muscle memory, right?
That's right.
What do you think?
100%. Because oftentimes what I feel like happens is we get some coaching right before the competition, and the coach is giving us really, really, really great information. And yes, if we add it to our routine, because yes, it's probably the right thing to do. Once you get on that competition floor, what happens? Our excitement takes over, our nerves take over, and our muscle memory takes over. So now I have a rule for myself: no changes to 2 weeks, at least
now,
2 weeks prior.
No changes to the competition. How about stylizing? Would you make changes to any stylistic changes or anything like that?
They have to happen organically, and that comes through repetition, right? So the more you go through your routines, the more comfortable you're getting with it.
The minute you do a stylistic change, and especially if you don't have your footwork done, although 2 weeks before competition, that should be like already set in stone or what have you.
Basically what you're doing in the studio is just over and over, repetition, impact, getting it in there, getting the connection with your partner, and then once you get to the competition floor, you're just going to perform it. The next thing is dresses, girls. So make sure that your dresses are clean, they're fully stoned, so if you have the extra stones, just fill in the gaps. I noticed that from my last competition, there was a tiny little thread on my skirt that was opening a little bit. So you have to make sure that every bit of your dress is fitting you.
Give it a test ride. We have a video. If you check out in the links below, I'm going to put a follow-up video on the things that you should check for your attire, right?
Yep.
So something to think about. And Kim, would you also get yourself ready with a second dress just in case? I'm wondering, because if you give it a test ride, or if you have to show anybody as to whether or not that dress is working, you just never know. Maybe you arrive there and for some reason the vibe is not working with your original dress. So I was wondering how you feel about that.
100%. Have a backup dress. Try that backup dress on too. Move in it. Do a test drive. Make sure all the accessories are with your dress. I made a mistake this past time. Forgot my earring.
It's costly.
It's
show up without that.
Costly, right? So you don't want to do that. But definitely have an extra pair of shoes. I wrote that down, and a backup dress. You never know. Yeah, I sewed everything, whatever. The day you put your dress on, a strap breaks and you're rushing. Okay, you're not gonna have time to really sew it. Just take it off and put on your backup dress, right? Because you don't want to be thinking about it. It causes extra anxiety to be concerned about it.
Do you ever think of using packing cubes, Kim, for your accessories? Let's say if you want to put your dress in there, you can too, depending on if you're doing standard versus if it's a rhythm dress. Maybe it's smaller. At least yours is smaller. It's like, come on. But if you use a packing cube and attach that onto the hanger and have everything ready so that you don't forget earrings or any of that stuff, and then it's it could be a see-through packing cube or something like that.
Absolutely. And I learned this through experience too, because the first few times you're just throwing everything in there, and things get forgotten, and things are with the wrong dress. You're good at this, Carol. This is really, I'll defer to you for the organizational. Maybe you can even label, this jewelry goes with this dress, and we're gonna have some packing tips.
So what I'm gonna do, if you want to click on the show notes, you'll be able to click on the link for our competition sort of checklist, whether it's 2 weeks, 1 week out, like we mentioned earlier, but also put on screen some photos of what you can pack it in and some links of where you can find that too.
100%. And guys, if you're liking what you're hearing, please like and subscribe. We're trying to build a brand, and we want to be able to stay around for a long time. So let us know what you like, what you don't like, and in, please subscribe and share. The next thing is we have to start booking our appointments, our nail appointment. If you're going to get color, hair, whatever facials you're going to do or whatever treatments you're going to do to your face, no less than 2 weeks out. And your tan. Here's always my challenge with my tan too, because I'm always having a lesson right before so I have to make sure that I arrange my tan so it's not right before my lesson, so I'm not sweating the tan off. So things like that, you kind of have to look for.
Are those days ahead, or this is 2 weeks out where it's a self bronzer and you want to let it sort of sit in for a while, or how soon would you do that?
No, so I do an organic airbrush tan. Check if the salon is open, you want to make it as close as possible.
And I never really thought about that because I do my self bronzers, but I used to in the past have to make an appointment to go see somebody. This is in the day where they did the whole
that's what I do.
That's the airbrush.
I tend to like it better because it gets every part of the body that you don't realize actually gets seen out there.
If you were to ever be new to any competition, to show up and you don't have like fishnets, and if you just plan to not have anything, you wouldn't realize how white you look under the lights, the sharp lighting. It's beautiful lighting, but you should have something in order to make sure that you are appearing very put together.
More polished, right?
Yeah.
Any imperfections, the light picks up. So you really want to kind of make sure that your skin is smooth. You're going to do for your nails and your toes to match whatever dress you're going to wear.
Did anybody ever tell you what kind of nail color to wear when you're dancing? Has that ever been told to you?
No, never. Has someone told you that?
Yeah. And this was when I dance American Smooth. They're like, if you have red nails, it is far more like they will see your hand when you're extending it, because the red nail will be there and it will show up and it will catch someone's attention to like follow the flow of your arm.
See, I usually do like something like this, like light, and it picks up the light.
Yeah, but it was really more about the elongation of the arm and whether someone follows you all the way to the end. They would see the tips of your fingers, so they would follow that through all the way. So that's why that came up.
See that?
It's just
that's
weird.
Really good to know. Like all these tips we get just by having conversations with each other, we learn so much.
I love
it.
Mm-hmm.
So now is the time you start cleaning up your diet. Just try to eat cleaner because you really need to draw on that energy when you get on the dance floor. First of all, your skin will look better, you'll feel better, you'll have more, better mental clarity and all of that. Because then along with that, you have to start working on your endurance. For me, it might be like doing rounds in the studio, just one after the other with my instructor.
Well, the rounds for me, while endurance, yes, because you'll learn what it's like if you're not already doing this as part of your lesson. And I would highly recommend that you do one after the other without stopping or walking around. You just get used to what it's going to be like to do like one heat after another. For the endurance, it's not so much because, hey, you're not going to get a fitness routine in 2 weeks. You can handle both mentally and physically to go through the endurance of the rounds, then you're much more in the mindset of being, coming out positively in that comp.
Right. People who really don't incorporate that into their everyday life. If you don't do it a few weeks before your competition, you're going to get out on the floor and you're going to be winded and, things like that.
I was thinking for you, if you're also in a larger competition, so this is anybody going to a more robust competition, there is a possibility, depending on how well you dance, that you might get through a quarterfinal and a semifinal and something you weren't anticipating. All of a sudden, you're dancing more. And I remember someone in my studio who she's a great dancer and she's got wonderful routines, and then she went through multiple rounds and she said she was quite tired by the end of it, but it was because there were so many. But I watched her on live video and she did great. You made this decision to go to nationals pretty quickly, and I think it's because you got the buzz from the most recent competition that you did, right, with the regionals?
The regional.
How does that change from regional to national for prepping?
Always recommend a to-do list, and it's very, very simple. We can even link one in the bio at the bottom, but if you notice on top, it says 2-week pre-comp, 2 weeks. So
that's right, and it's to find out where you put your most focus. And while we're both, competitive Pro-Am ballroom dancers, maybe where we put our time could be a little different. But what is not different is that we have a list. that whole 2-week readiness, you have to kind of be set in your mind about what you're going to actually wear and be good with it. Because if you make some last minute decisions, and that's going to happen, folks. I mean, if you all of a sudden are getting ready, and it doesn't matter how long you're dancing. I've been dancing 14 years and I'll make a last minute decision, and it is not a good idea.
Right.
Have that thing be sort of really looked at, and someone say, look, especially someone watching you from behind dancing or something like that. I know that sounds silly, but you don't have any idea of what you look like from behind if you're doing anything, some turns with the dresses, if it goes up too high, if you think it's long enough or too short. You just want someone to kind of give their eyeball view on that. And what's happened, if you show up only with one dress and you haven't done that test round, have a second one ready with you just in case, or indeed that color scheme does not work with the dance floor. I'm just saying, like, sometimes it's that vibe where you're like, I really don't like the way this is looking in the room.
Right, it could be totally, you showed up with one dress and you thought it was going to be one type of vibe, and then it's like something totally different.
But in shoes, I wouldn't have thought that, but sometimes, remember we were saying, like, some people wear stone shoes or they don't stone their shoes, and on occasion, depending on what level that you're dancing, you may not want to attract someone looking at your shoes, so like, so come with an extra pair, you know what I mean? All of that.
All of that. Here's the other thing too, depending on how long your stay is, world competition, it's sometimes a week long, you have to start thinking about the other days and the other activities that you're doing. Keep your, this is the time now where I open my suitcase, and it's open for 2 weeks.
I've shown up one day with the biggest suitcase known to man, and that's because I didn't pre-plan. So if you can pre-plan, like what Kim is saying on your list, the likelihood is you're going to show up with what you really need to show up with, rather than like just, tossing it in there. And if you toss it in, I assure you're going to be missing something.
You'll lose it and you'll be missing something. Make sure that you have a survival kit, which is, I have a half-assed one right now. I really have to.
But the dance survival kit.
The dance survival kit. Yeah. Well, I have a person. I talked about my Deb.
Your person.
Deb is my person. When we're at competition together, I just call Deb and she has do you want a kitchen sink? I'll bring it to everything. But in the eventuality that my tribe isn't there, I have to fend for myself. Oh my gosh. So I would, put things, everything, a toothbrush, a little, travel toothbrush, mouthwash, sewing kit, snacks, Band-Aids, oh my gosh, Band-Aids, floss, all the things.
You know what works well too is that you can get those gel things in the not supermarket, but the drugstore, where you put them under the ball of your foot. And so especially if you're doing a lot of work where it's on the ball of your foot, gives a little bit of gel cushion, which I always found very good, and that's great for like smooth dancers and standard dancers, because you're doing a lot of like movement around the floor. But
make sure to pack snacks. I mean, whatever snack. I mean, everyone always has snacks at the competition table, but it may not be what works right for your body or what you need at that time. So pack what's good for you.
So what's the difference between then 2 weeks and maybe like 3 days before comp? Like, you brought up the good things about the tanning and all that. Now, what else am I not even thinking about that you go do?
Probably at the week mark. I mean, again, I incorporate this stuff into my life on a daily basis, but lots of people don't. It's overcoming. We talk about this all the time, managing your fear, whatever anxiety that fear causes, and the doubt that would come out of that. So of course I go much deeper into my visualization, my meditation. I'm visualizing at this point a week out, and then it gets more, kind of more intense, 3 days. And the day before, I really give myself a break. I pretty much just, at that point, I've done all the things that I needed to do to get ready, and I'm like, okay, just packing my car and going, whatever I'm doing. Now we're at competition, and let's say it's the night before or the day before. So the day before, I really, really bulk up on protein, good complex carbs, and I overhydrate my body.
I just really want to thank you. Please press subscribe and like if you enjoy the podcast. Share with your friends. And like you've heard today, we just want to make sure that we share our most effective tips for getting ready for a competition, and we can't wait to see Kim go through that.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks. Woohoo!